Okay, welcome. We are going to do a test. We are going to create the outline for the third person template of Unreal with Unreal 4.25. And we are using the Photon Cloud plugin. So you just have to create the third person template project. And we are going to call it third person Photon, for example. This is a good name. Why not? We want the project to be only blueprints, maximum quality, with ray tracing, no. No started content for desktop and console, okay. Now the first, no started content for desktop and console, okay. Now the first thing we need to do is to enable Photon Cloud. Yes, we are going to disable the beer plugins and all the online plugins. So now the only networking we will have will be from the Photon Cloud. So, okay, let's test. Okay, we can see this is working. Basic, very basic template. It contains, well, you will see it has this character. This character is a typical mannequin, and we have a blueprint for the animation with states from idle, and it should be a blend space. This blending give us the animation, and it's controlled by the speed, and this speed is controlled from the component, movement component, from the velocity. So the magnitude of this velocity vector is our speed. Okay, that's all the things we need to know. From here we want to start creating our plugins, our blueprints, sorry. So let's go and create a folder for networking blueprints. And the first blueprint we want to create is from Photon Cloud. This is an actor, so this Photon Cloud blueprint is like our controller for everything. So what we need to do is to first we need to initialize the game. Of course, these blueprints will be in the scene. Okay. Now, let's see, we can start. We are starting here. So if we remove this, we start in the player start. Now we can create more player starts, like 4, for example. And now we will start in different locations. Okay, so we can get all the actors of that class, that is the player start, and we can promote this to player starts. We can set a name for this category, like or game config, whatever. After that, what do you need? I want to connect. So this is the basic scheme. You need to connect. After that, you need to join a room. And that's it. So the first thing is to set up the connection. And for that, you have to go to your preference, player settings, and the Photon Cloud configuration, and you have to set your app ID and your server. So the server address is basically always the same. This is for the case you are using your own server, but this is the default server, it should be okay. And then you will be using your app ID. Okay, so now you can connect. Here. So before I connect, I want to know when this event is finished, because this is not like automatic, you know. So you may want to find onConnect event and then connect. So now we can create onConnect event, and now we want to join a room. And for the name, you can save it, the name, or just use a third person test name, for example, with 4 player max. And this is for setting properties if you want to set them. In our case, we are going to be really, we are not going to use it. Now, before we connect, we also need to bind an event for that. So okay, so if we bind the events, then we connect. Once we connect, we join, and once we join, then we can see if this is our player or not. If it is my player, then I will want to have a method here, This is all the input for the character, so we want a method here, set as local player, and this will be the things we need to do, like we have to know our player number, and we can set this as a variable, and we can say owner player number. Let's set the category of this bar to Photon Cloud. So we need another event. In the case this is set as remote player. Of course, we also need a pointer from the Photon Cloud reference. Or Photon Cloud blueprint. And the same goes for this one. So you can set this here and do the same here. What more? Well, we can have a common function for this, right? Yeah, this will be easier. And we can know if this is our player. Setup player. So we can now call this directly. So local player connecting. We already have the player in the scene, so we just need to get the character and do a cast to our type of character, and from here we just set up the player with the player number and the Photon reference. And now if it is not, the local player is a remote player, so we can spawn an actor. And in this case, we want to always spawn. This is a third person character, but this is not being controlled by the player, the local player. It's controlled by the remote data. Now we have to make a transform, and for this we have a player starts, and from here we can get a random one. And this is really easy. Random int range from 0 to the number of elements of this player start -1, because this random is inclusive. Now we create a random character and we only need to call the same function. So that's it. So this is the basic, very basic logic. We will see that we are controlling this third-person player, but the next player to be created is not controlled by us. So this is one client. Now let's add more, like 2. This is an error. Oh, I forgot to call the init game first. So now we have the 2 players, and it's not sync because this is the next thing we are going to do, but the very basic logic is done for connection and general room. Now in the character we know if this player is as a local player or not, so we can just check that. Using a get player number. So if this player is equal to my player number, this is mine, so I know. And now if this is mine, I don't have to do anything. Yeah, I know I have to do a lot of things. Yeah, so I have to local send my character translation, rotation, animation, and remove is going to receive the character translation, rotation, and animation. So for that we will need some changes in the character, but I think it should be not really complicated. It's going to be really easy. So why not we just create an event called like that. So for the local player, what we need to send each x seconds or position and rotation. So set an event with timer, and let's see, each 5 milliseconds looping, no initial delay. We're going to send character theory. And for this, what do we need? We need to get our position and we can save it as a last rotation, so we can check if the last location we have is different. Also, or actor rotation. Is different from the last we sent, and we can set a tolerance for that. Maybe this is not, we can set like 1 and save it as a variable if you want. So if the position or the rotation change, then we want to save it and then send it. So now we can send the player, set send the player location and rotation, and we just need to use our variables to generate the targets, and we don't need to be variable. We can get the player lists just like that, and that way you are only sending this information to all the players but the local player, and that's intended. Now we have sent location and rotation. We need to send the animation. We need to send the animation too. So what do we need for the animation? We saw in the blueprint we are using the is falling and the speed. So we can get that. And then we can change this somehow. Yeah. So now, after doing that, we want to do the same for the animation. So we have the speed. We can save the speed. And we can save last in air. And now we can check if the last speed is different with a tolerance of well, we don't have a tolerance, but by default it's nearly, and the tolerance could be like 0.2. So now if this is true, then we have to send the speed. To send the speed, we can create a JSON. So we can say animating JSON should be like JSON, Photon JSON. So for this, we need to, before doing anything, we need to create this JSON. The context will be this character. So okay, now we have our JSON. We know we have to save in that JSON our new speed, so we have the setFloatField function. We have to save in our variable the new speed, and let's call it speed. We can do the same for the in air. So now, after that, or when we don't change the speed, we also check if the last in air is different from the new in air, and in that case we save the information and save the information to send as a boolean. In this case it's in air. So we have speed and in air. Okay, we have the information already filled. We now need to send this information. So only if we have set one last air or last speed is when we send the information. We can check that by retrieving the number of keys we have in this JSON. If the number of keys is greater than 0, that means we need to send it. Right? And in this case, we just set property. And the private property is our animation JSON. And this is only the properties we need for the animation. send the player custom properties for animation, and all this part is animation. Okay, now that we have the logic part for sending the information, we need to change the animator and receive the information. So let's change the animator first. What we need here is to cast this to our third person character, and we will check here with a select. So what we check if this is a local character. So for that, we can make a variable for that. So we can say is local player as a boolean. By default is false. So now when I receive this call local send, I set this character as local player. Now from the animation blueprint, I can know if it's a local player. And in this case, this is the way we get the information directly from the character or from the data we send and we receive here in the replica. So if this is a local player, then get information directly from our objects. But in the other case, we just need to get in air, the last in air. And this will be the same for the velocity. So we can do something like this. So if this is true, and if not, we get the last speed, and we set that. And that's all. So this is for our local player, this is for the remote player, this is for remote player, this is for the local player. So the only thing we need to add is the remote events for getting the player information. So first thing we need is to get the location and rotation. Again, we get the Photon Cloud reference, and we pinned the event and receive player location 3D, not only rotation. Pinned player rotation 3D. Yeah, this one. So apart apart from that, we need also to add another event for receive layer custom properties change. So okay, now for the location and rotation, this is really easy. This is our player, so we just need to set the actor location and set actor rotation. Really easy. You can add a lerp here to make this better. Now, for the properties change, what we need here. Just the first thing is we want to check if this is our player. This is true. Why don't we save these properties? Because the only thing we need is these animation properties, and now we can check if all properties are inside this list, then we can make changes here. So we have two properties. So the first one is has this JSON or key for speed. The same will be for the in-air. Oops. So in the case we have the speed, we just set or last the speed. From the JSON we receive the name speed and set the last in air from the JSON with the Boolean field. Okay, that's it. So we are receiving the player here. We are sending the player info here. It should be okay. Let's check. So I can see that if I move, everything is working. But there are some problems, right? Something in the animation is not working. In air, not found. Oh. Let's see. Oh, this will be better. Let's check the animation. Oh yeah, this is a knot. Now it should work. Yeah. Yeah, it works. And that's it.